Denver's in the house. Hello, Kay Tippin, Harlan, Denise Chadwick, and Mary Garcia. We got MaryAnne Savino in the house. Let me just pull her up. How's it going, everybody? Happy Solstice, everybody. There you go.
Here I am.
What's happening, beautiful sister? What's been going on? How's the solstice treating you? How's the?
Oh man, I don't know. I think the combination between six.
I feel
retrograding with the solstice and my freaking natal moon in Cancer with the eclipse is really shaken. I feel like I'm being shaken upside down by the universe. It's like
right. So it's like I feel like we're at halftime. I feel like we're actually at the 0 point of the solstice period. What is it, like almost a 30-day period? And if the magnetic poles of the earth were ever going to shift, like they've said and prophesized millions of times and been wrong, I think it's happening in this moment. Because there's this thread of bliss in knowing.
Yeah.
And then there's this other thread running out, but it's running, and it's interesting. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
you're embodying
you can't even put it into words, because trying to explain it in words doesn't even cut it. It's like it's just an experience, you know. And
I caught that show. We don't have a washer and dryer. We just moved into this place, and we're very thankful for that.
Where are you living?
Arkansas.
Oh, is that where you're gonna stay?
Yeah, a little town out of Fort Smith, Arkansas, called Van Buren, Arkansas.
Wow.
And it's after 3.5 years. So we're very happy. And Morgan found a place, or it found her, or I don't know how that all works, but it's a powerful time. It's a very powerful time. I went to the laundromat to wash our clothes, because we don't have much, but that's okay. And so anyway, I just happened to went out to the car and turned on Facebook, and I saw the broadcast that y'all did. There must have been 12 of you on the screen, and I put my earphones in.
There were 8 of us, actually.
8? Was there 8? It just looked like the old Hollywood squares, you know. But I was really impressed with the way that you guys flowed.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was amazing, and so, you know, I thought that was a very important energetic imprint that you guys put down. And tomorrow at I think it's 5 or 6 tomorrow, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do an open mic spoken word. We're going to try something new from Solar Juan Studios, and just kind of have an improvisational. And you guys did it before we did, so you stole the thunder. But you know, and mix in conscious rap and light language and poetry and prose, and you know, somebody wants to do something visual, just, you know.
Totally.
But I think this is that collaborative energy that doesn't make sense in the world we're leaving, but is the world that we're creating.
We
you know.
certainly are rebirthing a new world of creational energy, creativity. That is the new 5D Earth.
Yeah.
And we're coming into it more and more. And I wrote something earlier on one of my posts. I said, the mind is not comfortable with all this change. It doesn't understand what's happening. So it goes into panic. And it's time to just really like embrace the parts we've been denying, which is a lot of times our creative energy, and letting that flow and just letting it be birthed out in whatever way it wants to not even plan it, to just allow it. And that's the energy we're in right now.
Yeah.
This solstice, and then with the solstice right on top of the 0 degree of Cancer eclipse,
Yeah.
is super powerful. It's the energy of the solar fire codes with the lunar water codes, and then the earth Gaia grid of the new earth merging. So the old timelines are continuing to peel away, and then this new energy is birthing out from under it. And we're all feeling it.
Yeah.
It's really potent. I felt a lot of the fire feminine energy come in, like the Sekhmet Pele, Kali, Black Madonna. And then that's that solar fire energy of the solstice with the masculine coming in, the divine masculine. But that beautiful flow of the mother feminine of the water of Cancer, the nurturer, the emotional being, the place of home and where we feel at home within ourselves is coming up strong. And then to bring that into the earth, we have all these energies. I could feel that strong flow of Mother Mary, of Kuan Yin, of Gaia, of the archangels coming in really strong. I'm even wearing one of Karen Anastasia Riley's new birthday gift to myself. An early birthday present is the Andara in gold. And
she made that?
Yeah. And
so how long have you known her? I didn't know y'all knew each other. I met her like in 2017.
Yeah, we're Facebook buddies, and I've got a few of her pieces, but I saw this and thought, oh my God, this is my archangel Raphael for my healing, because I'm still recovering from treatment and surgery and trauma from eons of time. I think we all are.
Yeah, you've been very open about that, and on this show as well. And I saw, and I can't remember. I can only remember the energetics of it. But I saw a couple of posts, and I'm going to go back 2 to 3 months maybe, and you kind of came out of it, and you were on top of it, and then I've been like, on the move and traveling, and how it is when you're getting a place. And then I caught, I went to go get the picture for the announcement, and you were on that boat. And I thought that was so apropos. I was like, oh my God. I thought that's like, I am the captain of, what is that? I'm the captain of my fate, or whatever. That famous Invictus, that point. I'm master of my fate.
Yeah.
So
a new river of life is what it feels like.
So how you been doing? How do you feel? I mean, and I say that on 2 fronts. One, what you brought up, and 2, what you started the show with, which is the solstice. Because I can see in your energy what I'm feeling, which is it's both sides playing like at full blast. Not only is the 5D frequency accelerating more rapidly, but so is the the experience of the old stuff. And it's funny because I feel like I'm outside myself, watching myself half the time.
That's it. That's exactly what I'm feeling. It's like I'm in between 2 worlds, and there's this part of me that's birthing forth in a way that I didn't even know was possible. And getting into the creative flow. I've been doing a lot of dancing and movement and sounding and spending time in nature, because I feel like that's what I'm finding with these energies. We have to find harmony and balance and root it into the new earth and stay out of the old frequency, because we don't, the pieces of the puzzle do not fit that energy in. We don't fit it. So we're in these incredible transitional as well as transformational times between the planetary stuff. And I feel I've been having incredibly prophetic dreams, very vivid and deep. And, the feeling that we're experiencing something that we've never experienced before. And it's showing me clearly that we have to find a way to balance and harmonize and restore ourselves with these new energies, because they're going to keep coming in. They're not going to end.
That's right. Let go or be dragged. I've said it thousands of times. But.
And it's really potent, because I keep thinking to myself when I come out of it, when I wake up, I'm thinking, where the heck was I? That was like really intense. And I realize it's like there's a part of me that's having a challenging time being here in the density of the old. So we have to take a break from it and go somewhere else, which we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that feeling walking into the laundromat when I went to go put the stuff from the washer to the dryer. And I was walking in the building thinking, my God, why is this so hard to do? And then I just snorted. And anyway, so I was walking in, and when it came to me, like 2 seconds later, it was like, it doesn't even sound right, but like it's the higher self getting acclimated with being human. It's like we used to bring in that other stuff, the multidimensional stuff, into our field, but we were still operating as human. And now it's at the point where that part of us is in command, not in command like, oh man, I got this, and we do got this, but it's more like we actually have to get used to it. The higher self actually has to humanize.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the things I want to mention about the solstice, I know we think of summer, at least here on the Northern Hemisphere, because in the Southern Hemisphere, they're celebrating winter. But you come out of winter in the contemplative, introspective energy, and then we're in this summer fun, joy celebration, which we are. But it's also about learning to be very patient and allowing things to unfold. And just kind of blossom in their own fullness without trying to force things.
Yeah, you can't.
No, the earth is giving us so much. And if we take too much from her, which we have, she's not okay with that. We have to be aware that take only what we need, and also give back to her more than what we take, but to give back more to her. And to remember that, we're all here. We volunteered for this. And some people think it's crazy when I say that, but otherwise.
Not the people listening. There's about 150 people in here. They all understand that.
Why did I choose this? What was I thinking? But I did. And I have to remind myself of that constantly, but it's okay, because your soul knows. The soul knows. And it's the human, the ego, the mind, to say to it, okay, you can relax, because I'm taking over, but you still have a job to do. You're here to merge with me and in our multi-dimensional way of bringing all aspects in, and that creative fire that we're in right now is something I really feel that's going to, if we could cultivate more of that, that creative fire.
It's a powerful frequency, like, the 8 of you getting on there. I mean, it's, I saw 88 people watching that. And when I was on for like 5 minutes, but we can't even comprehend. I was going to say, we cannot underestimate, that type of occurrence, because it's actually permeating through the entire holy matrix grid, the human hybrid matrix grid, the new earth, whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
We can't underestimate it, but at the same time, we can't even comprehend it. You said something a few minutes ago, and that was in regard to it's really it is, it's not a force. Nothing's being forced on
Yeah,
us, but we
yeah.
can't force anything.
And
And it's
got
like,
lots of
it's coming so fast, and we've talked about it, on
accelerated.
the few
Yeah,
shows since we restarted, which is, we don't even have time to analyze it. We don't
no,
even have time to like like figure out where we're going. It's literally wrong, not the human definition of the word, forcing us to be present. And of course, all the circumstances around the world have actually supported that.
yeah. I mean, everything is this collapsing, dismantling and collapsing of the old timelines, the old paradigm is in our face.
Hmm.
And oh, one of the things I wanted to mention when I said, I keep going into these vivid dream states of totally like astral traveling to other dimensions, other places, other
Now,
timelines.
are you sleeping when this happens, or does it happen during the day?
It's mostly when I'm asleep, but I've had glimpses of other things come into my view and on the side, like it like peers in, and I'm like, whoa, what was that? And what I realize, it's the universe basically saying that, this is not just happening on the earth, people. It's happening in the galaxy, in the entire
Hmm.
universe is going through a major reset. It's not only happening here. And it's like,
So everybody's having to come to Jesus meeting, even the reptilians and the Anunnaki and the Pleiadians and the
oh
elementals.
oh
Everybody's having to. Everybody's. You know what? It's alignment. And you were talking earlier. There, regardless of what we're going through, I think most of us can say something's going on. There's some type of alignment that's occurring, and it's not going to be stopped. And we can theorize how do we affect that, and how do you do that, and what, you know what I mean.
oh
But the
yeah,
fact is, it's happening. And I think where this whole force flow thing goes is the human, you said it perfectly a minute ago, the human wants to, like, oh my God, we got to do something, right?
right.
And that's the part that's leaving us.
Yes,
I'm
it
not
is.
going to say that's got to go or has to go, because every time somebody tells me
It's
we have to do it.
changing, it's shifting, it's consciousness, the
Yeah.
frequency of that part of us. It's not that it's gonna, you can't, like when I hear people say, oh, we have to just get rid of the ego, it's impossible unless you
Mm-mm.
die. Your ego is part of you, and that part needs to realize. I had to calm mine down this morning and yesterday because it went into total panic. And I'm like, wait a second, you know what to do with this. You've done this before. I had to say, all right, chill out, because I'm taking over. You're okay. You're doing good. It's okay. We're going through this. You're not alone. It's like taking the helpless child by the hand and saying, I'm not leaving you. I'm right here. That's why I have a hard time with, I used to do this. I used to try to run from it. It's like it was too scary. And now I realize you can't run from yourself. Well, you're only
Mm-mm.
going to hit into a wall.
Yeah.
So it's like, how about you turn and face it and say, I get it. I see who you are now.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for doing such a great job. And
So, yeah.
in that moment is when I think the bliss comes in, because we're this, this eclipse, by the way, this ring of fire, and it's a north node eclipse, which means it's a time for bold new beginnings. It's really about, we're giving these incredible, unique opportunities
Mm-hmm.
to connect with divine source and really get access to information that we don't normally get.
Yeah.
Why people are having such vivid dreams and
And that we're getting at a speed we don't normally get.
oh yeah, no, the
So it's
speed
coming
is
both
like,
ways.
yeah, it's like a race car driver. It's like, wait a minute, where's, how do you put a,
So you said the word bold, and I was going to ask you about the astronomical part of it, because I don't understand the astrological, astronomical, whatever. But I was coming back from the laundromat, and I was having that dialogue, whatever that is, the higher self and the human. And what I got was that what's happened, and I can only speak for myself, and I'm not saying I've licked it or I've mastered it, because I haven't. It was just coming in, and it was saying basically what you're being shown things like with a magnifying glass at warp speed, and you're actually able to if you see it and you recognize it and you acknowledge it, your human part's still going to like do things. It's going to feel funny. It's going to feel nausea. It's going to, maybe it's going to project or but you're on it and it's corrected very quickly. And that it's almost like, I don't need to know. Well, I just know that I know, and how
Right.
I got to the knowing. I don't really, it's not helping me to spend time thinking about it. It's just like, okay, I know now. Now, am I okay? No, my body's like freaking out. I'm overheating. I keep getting like these hot flashes and stuff. But
That's
there's a part of
burning.
me that
Yeah.
knows, and that's the part that I'm sticking with.
Well, the burning off of the old, as I said earlier, because also during an eclipse, especially right on top of the solstice, on no less, it's like your personal path is aligning with the universal path. So we're coming into this, you said, alignment.
Yeah.
And this eclipse is also pointing to what needs to change in our lives that maybe we were avoiding because we just didn't see it. It's not a judgment.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're human.
Yeah.
Maybe we just couldn't see something because we weren't aware of it. That doesn't mean it's bad.
Unconscious is unconscious. I mean, do we really do anything? I mean, really, even if it looks like we really want to take somebody out, is that just not a deep, deep level of programming and consciousness? I mean,
Yeah.
we're all, we're that force that you're talking about. I mean, oneness is oneness. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but
Yeah.
we're actually doing it at the gut level, at the human level. And, it's work, but it's happening, right? I mean, there's good signs with everything going on. There are many, many great examples of the right energy that are, represented by our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. And it's that reconnecting with our divine purpose that perhaps we couldn't even, like, a lot of times, oh, I know what my purpose is. I'm here, I'm working through the ascension, and I believe that is true. But I also found that the more I reconnect or connect to part of my the divine purpose in me, new aspects are showing up. Now, are these new that I'm now going to create, or have they been there all along and I just didn't see them because now I'm seeing with new eyes?
Yeah, I think that's like what I was talking about. It doesn't matter.
Not,
Now you have it. It doesn't matter what was
not,
it. What were they there, or did you,
yeah,
procure them through your energetic transformation?
it's the eyes in my heart that are seeing it for the first
Yeah.
time. I'm saying, wow,
Well, it's really, it's you, it's me. It's actually, and that's what I was saying about coming back from the laundromat. I want to ask you about the opportunity that we have now, or what the energy is based on the planetary alignment and the celestial alignments. But that's what I was getting. What I was getting was almost like, when you know it. I mean, knowing it is obviously not enough, but it was like this. It was like, when you know it, from that point, you don't need to know how you got here.
right.
All you really need to focus on is bringing that truth into every thought, word, and action. And that's not like flipping a switch, but if you stay on it, it seems to be getting a little smoother, a little smoother, a little smoother. You might have a little,
Bump in the road.
Yeah, you might have a little bump here and there. But so in terms of the celestial and planetary alignments and that type of thing, I mean, I've never really followed it. I've told you that, we've talked about it.
Right.
One thing I do think, or no, not think, the one thing I feel on a personal level, I don't mean this for anyone else, is that this is kind of what we left behind. This is kind of like where we came from, and also clues. Like, this is what's coming. This is what's available. There's a cyclical thing to it. But what in particular, I mean, what are the bullet points, or what are the things that we can kind of think about or learn about in terms of this eclipse period? It seems like we're at the halftime period right now. It seems like the poles have shifted. It's been, very noticeable. But what is available? What's coming up?
Here's the thing. Certainly, the fact that we have this solstice right on top of the eclipse, and it's the second eclipse of 3. We're coming into another one, and this is a full eclipse, by the way. It's an annular, so it's got this ring around, this ring of fire. We're going to have another eclipse, which is a partial in Capricorn, on the 5th of July. And so
And
Also,
that's the last part of it, right?
yeah, and that's going to be the last of the Cancer Capricorn axis because the nodes of the moon shifted out of Cancer Capricorn into Gemini Sagittarius.
Okay.
So the next eclipse toward, I think it's December, will be in Sagittarius. So,
Okay.
you know,
So what does that mean? I mean, like, is this a time when
I think it's
I don't know. Like,
time.
I guess let me ask you this real quick, and then tell me what you're going to say. I just want to ask you because I'm not anywhere near as well versed as you are in this, and I'm trying to learn. But
Well, I'm not an astrologer dabbling in it.
no, you're legit. You're too legit to quit. All right, but in terms of the Trinity, the age of the Trinity, the triad, collaboration, co-creation, new earth, whatever you want to call it, the things that have been prophesized and described so many different ways. Is there something, is this like a, a very salient point, this 3 eclipses and and the solstice in the middle? I mean, it just feels like something I've never felt before, not only
Yeah,
personally, but collectively.
we are. Yeah, it is because we haven't had an eclipse like this in a very long time. I don't know the exact amount of years, but it's been quite some time. The other thing that I want to mention because of what's going on with these energies, and we have all these planets retrograding, and retrogrades are a time of reviewing. You're going to slow down a bit and sort of try to anchor and make sure you're anchoring into the new frequencies and not the old frequencies, because then you're, even though we're, my feeling is we're not completely in 5D Earth. I know a lot of people seem to think, oh, we've reached the 5th dimension, but we do, and then we kind of straddle out and go back in and out. I call it like a navigating, going in and out. And I feel like that is what's actually happening. Because if that's 5D Earth out there, we're really in friggin' trouble.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even, when I heard that, I'm like,
It's
really
not,
want to
it's,
believe that?
if it's 5D, now I don't know, that's, semantics, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm like,
is 5D here? 5D is here as
it's
much
here.
as anybody that is owning it,
Yeah.
being responsible. I mean, there are certain words that exist in 5D that don't exist in 3D and
Right.
vice versa. I mean, like, it's just all kinds of things. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that energy's there.
Oh, it's here. It's
Yeah,
not
it's, well, no, yeah, you're right. It's
yeah,
here,
it is
but
here,
it's like
but we're not in it all the time.
no, because we go into it and we're like, get skittish about it. Like,
Well, because the shit that we need to still let go of is there. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not fitting into this piece of the puzzle. Your piece of the puzzle doesn't fit here. You better get the hell out.
Now here's a good question. I don't usually do questions, but I try to
Okay.
do everything in synchronicity. So I'm going to give you the question, then I'm going to kind of preface it a little bit. So how do we? This is from Bella Rosa. Thank you. She says, how do we anchor in the new energies? And this is another thing that happened in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I was asking the same question, which I've asked before, and a few months ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, I don't remember, Morgan was like, you don't have to do this that way. You can actually, because I was purging a lot.
Right.
You can do it with ease and grace. So I started saying ease and grace, ease and grace. I was having it lucid dreams, and and I thought I made pretty good progress with it. But in this month, it's come so fast and so full, that I'm just like sitting there in the, almost like the best thing I can do is just sit there in a catatonic state and just do nothing.
Well, we're still purging, people say, oh, well, when are we going to be done with this? It's not about being done with it. It's learning to navigate when something shows up.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you can say, all right, I see this pattern is still here. Yeah. That's okay. I get it. I see it. I'm watching it. I'm looking back. I'm observing. Not going to try to push it away. I'm going to let it do what it needs to do. The things I would recommend about the grounding part.
Yeah.
You have to get out in nature somewhere, whether it's by water, forest, desert, whatever it is. It's very important to spend time in nature. There's a lot of self-care that needs to go into grounding as well, and anchoring. You have to it's up to us, each individual, to take care of our own well-being. The other thing is, nobody, I don't care what pedestal you put yourself up on. I had to kick my ass off my own because it's not happening. Nobody, yeah, it's like, really?
Isn't that funny when you find that boot in your ass and it was your boot?
Yeah, it's your own boot. Like,
and it was your boot.
Who did that? Well, that was my own kicking me in the ass.
Every time we cuss the universe, we're cussing ourselves.
Oh, it's true. It's
at a deeper level.
But the thing is this: nobody can tell you how to take your journey.
No.
Your soul came into a human life to have experiences for you to decipher, for you to unravel. Now, that doesn't mean there's wonderful practitioners and spiritual teachers. We can get help when needed, but there comes a point where you have to finally say, you know what, I'm here to do this because I chose to be here for it. And you don't want to mess that up for yourself.
Yeah.
So we have to be the ones to open up the door and walk through. And the grounding part.
We are the ones. We don't have a choice. We actually, that was actually determined when we exercise our free will. We think about free will is, an earthly gift, but no, I think our free will was saying, hey, I'll go.
Yeah, so, no, I know. Some people
so
we knew what we were doing when we came here. I don't think so, because if I honestly knew that I was going to go through this, I would have definitely, no way. I mean,
yeah. Well, here's another question in synchronicity. And now I'm doing two questions, which I don't normally do, but it's a serious question, and I think you are the epitome of what this person's referring to as shadow work, inner work,
me and my shadow,
embodying because you've been very multidimensional for a very long time. You've been out there, but actually walking the talk. So thank you, Sapphire Sapphire. He said, I'm not sure if it's a he or she, I'm sorry. Dear loves, what is your advice? This is for you, not me. For deep shadow work in the eclipses, how are we able to get to the deep shadow work? I guess what they're saying is, I guess two questions. Does this period of the three eclipses with the solstice offer an extra opportunity for shadow work, and how do you get there?
Okay, there's so many different ways. I'm going to bring it down to what I feel. When the shadow aspects come up, that could be people, talk about, I'm going to choose love over fear. Well, guess what? That's wonderful, but fear is a part of us. And all the fear wants is to be loved. So if you say, I'm going to choose love over fear, then you're denying your shadow. Your shadow has worry, fear, anger, frustration, uncertainty. It doesn't know where am I? What am I doing here? How do I get through this? The sitting with it, inviting it in. This is my recommendation. When it gets really rough and you can't take another minute, you create a space inside of yourself and invite the shadow aspect in. If you can get an image of it, or just even if you just say, shadow, I'm inviting you in. I'm going to create a space for you. Come on in.
Yeah.
Sit with it.
Yeah.
See what emerges for you, because it's going to be different for each of us. The other aspects, the other piece of it is that when you invite it in, let yourself feel what's there, because if we don't feel what we've been avoiding, it has no outlet.
That's right.
It's in the feeling. You feel it, you face it, you feel it, and you free it.
If you don't face it, and this is a good one, and I love this. I love this. Boots on the ground. Sermon you're giving, because it's right on the money. But it's like, if you don't face it, it's going to come back.
Of course.
And I know that sounds, like really easy to, but I'm talking about like a person, a place, a thing, a memory, whatever. It's really that it's, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's really that simple. You can go, you go back to your a worse trauma, and of course, some of these traumas we're not even fully conscious of. They're just like a
Yeah.
little thing there. But actually, to sit with the idea, let's just say I was traumatized as a little kid. Let's just say I was sexually molested, and I'm not saying I was or I wasn't. But let's just say there's a little thing in my head that says, you know what? It's everything kind of like says that it did happen.
It's in the
I may not have to go regress and like find it,
No,
but
yeah, you
I
don't have
could
to
actually,
live it.
but you know what
You
I mean? I
don't,
could actually sit with the energy of, okay,
you don't have to relive the trauma.
right.
But if you could meet it,
Yeah.
and like I've done this in mirror work where I try to get an image, I'll look in my own eyes and I'll wait till I get to little MaryAnne, who had her trauma. Yeah. And I see her sitting on the floor, clutched to her doll, crying, and nobody's there. And she's like basically heaving because she doesn't know what's happening to her. I then see my adult self with my higher soul self merged to go in, scoop her up, put her in my heart and say, my dear, how could they not, I don't want to cry here. How could they not see how precious and beautiful you are? Now, it's not always easy to do this because it took me a while. Sometimes I needed to get help. I needed therapy. I needed spiritual practices, whatever I could find. I'm saying there are many avenues, there are many pathways to this, but if you can start with something, seeing that part of you.
I think that's a really great point. That's like a sovereignty characteristic, let's just say, or attribute, and that is, did any of us from a human standpoint know? It's like something popped in our head, like, but it was like okay, I got to do this. I got to buy a book. I got to go to a bookstore, get a book. I got to go see a healer. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that how or ask you how important.
Let's do a little meditation right now of going into our shadow aspects, little inner child who's wounded. That's why I can offer something. And then if people have more questions, I want everybody to try to get it. Close your eyes, take a few breaths in and out, just get yourself comfortable. See if you can get an image of your shadow aspects or your inner child who might be frightened. And if you can't get an image, don't worry. See if you get a sensation. If you can't get that, say, I'm bringing in my wounded aspects. Just with conscious intention, that's powerful enough. And with my beautiful soul self, my highest, most beautiful divine self, with my adult, I'm going to take a look at my inner child who might be in fear, who might be angry, who might be hurt. And I'm going to say to this beautiful being, I am so sorry for not paying attention to you. You've been tugging on my sleeve and I have not paid attention to you. Please forgive me for not seeing who you are. How could I not see how precious and beautiful that you are? But I'm right here and I'm not going anywhere.
Right on.
And I'm taking you in and I'm going to take care of you because you're the most important part of me. The part of me that I've ignored and denied because I did not know better. Please forgive me. Because when you can do that, and it may not happen in one shot, you have to try it several times. It's like getting up and taking a shower every day. Check in with that part of you.
Every day.
Yeah. Check in with that part of you. And if you're having a really hard time because the trauma is so great and so deep, reach out to some kind of therapy process. It could be a therapist, it could be a spiritual practitioner who does some kind of technique to help you. We're not meant to go through this pain alone. And yes, there will be times where we have to face it when we're with ourselves and there's nobody there. But the truth is, it's not that there's nobody there. It's just we have this belief that nobody's here for me. I've been abandoned. You could always rely on the part of you that knows. that beautiful, soulful God, goddess presence that lives and never dies. It's eternal. The eternal you.
And that's the question that asked, or that precipitated that beautiful explanation meditation.
I go in much deeper. We just don't have time to do.
No. We're in a quantum environment. Your intentions and your energetic output can be for 10 seconds and it doesn't matter 10 seconds. But I guess what I was getting at is more than anything. And there's so many points of, opportunity. We can talk about shadow and inner work. We can talk about just different practices, but the relationship between, and everybody has a different name. I know that, semantics again. We're going to get past that, but the importance or the whatever of the connection between the higher self and the human aspect.
Well, the
little girls, the shadows, I mean, all the different multi levels of the human. How do you connect to your higher self? How do you know
the shadow's job is to keep us separated from our light. That's its job because that's what it does. But the shadow is the greatest gift we have because it also shows us our light. Yeah. When things get like scary enough and freaking over the top insane and you're like ready to like lose it totally, that's the moment where you call in the part of you that already knows what to do and say, please, divine being within, I don't know what to do. Please help me, show me the way. And it's when you see that part of you go to your shadow and say, it's okay. I want to thank you for showing me what I couldn't see. But now I see you. I get you. I'm right here. Mm-hmm. That's like the deepest, to me, the deepest, most profound way. Because it wants to keep us separate. That's its job.
Yeah. But that's us, right?
Yeah.
That shadow is us.
That is us.
That's bred from the 3D patriarchal, the survival thing.
Yeah.
The shutdown route. In June, I mean, just from a personal perspective and what you've observed and the work that you do and what you've seen in social media and so on, what's the dance of the masculine and feminine energy? And I'm not talking people or genders. I'm talking about energy. What's the dance been about this month? I mean, it's been a very, very, to me, it's been, and I'm going to ask you, what have you seen? But the feminine energy has like moved into a class of its own. But at the same time, it looks like and you mentioned something about this a while ago in terms of the planetary and all that, but it seems like the masculine is like entered a space that it's never seen either. And it's like, okay, now what
I call the awakened masculine, because I feel that if both are like, you have that warrior of the masculine, but then you have the feminine warrior, which is completely different energy. These two warriors have to come together, and they're going to butt heads at first, and there's going to be fights, and there's going to be struggle and resistance, and you name it. And that's what's been going on. Look outside. There's been this total resistance. I had to literally one day, I just got on my knees and I said to the universe, I honestly don't think I can handle too much more of this. So if I'm ready to go, then here I am, beam me up, Scotty, because I was like at the point where, I don't think I can keep doing this.
When this happened?
And they're laughing at me.
How long ago was this?
Not long ago, like a few weeks ago. Yeah. I said to myself, what the hell is happening?
Right.
It's like they were laughing, like, oh, you know what? I think that, no, I don't. That's why I'm screaming at you. And it's like, if you could just get down to that part of yourself that knows and that the other part that doesn't know, and say it's okay when you don't know something. That's really okay.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that void, that womb, that mother.
Yeah,
is saying to you, hey, you are you are God.
Yeah.
But don't take yourself too seriously. You know,
Exactly. If you
it's
can,
like, you know what? Show your ass. I mean, the human is so important, so reverent, so
your soul
honored, you know?
takes this journey of human life for growth, for
Yeah.
transformation, for experiences. You know, people say, "Oh, well, when we're source, we're pure love anyway." But yes, but we don't get to feel it the
That's
same
right.
way.
That's
You
how we
don't,
got
you don't
into
get.
this game in the first place. And
I
this
mean,
is,
you look in your beloved
yeah.
eyes, or you look in the eyes of a beautiful animal, or you pick up a flower and you inhale that fragrance, that juiciness. You don't get to have that experience as a soul. It's a different experience. People say, "How do you know that?" Don't ask me how I know, because I'm not going to explain it, because you can't.
Yeah.
It's a
Sure.
knowing, it's a feeling, it's a sensory experience that,
Yeah.
wow, I get to have experiences that I could never have in just soul form. Now, soul form has experiences that human form can't have. So we want, I know my soul loves variety because it wants to know, it wants to have all these experiences. I think that's true for probably everyone. I really do. Maybe in different ways, but I believe that's true for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, you know, we have infinite possibilities. It only makes sense. I don't know. To me, there's just in this period, which to me seems like, 0 point of this eclipse period. I don't know. It's like in that space, it's halftime. In the bigger space, it's halftime. Let's just say 2020 up to now, 2012. I mean, it just seems like there's something about this time that
It's
that
profound.
yeah, I mean, it's yeah, because I look at all the stuff going on, and we went to try to eat at this Italian restaurant yesterday, and I had never put a mask on. And I walk in and we just want to eat on the patio. They're like, you got to put a mask on. I'm like, I'm on the patio, and I'm
How are
not trying to
you
make
supposed to
fun of
eat
it
with a
because
mask?
I'm not trying to make fun of it because I appreciate the energetic representation that it's offering, not just for me, but for everybody.
Right, of
But I
course.
guess what I'm trying to say is it's and I've said this a couple times, but it's cartoonish.
Mhm.
Morgan says it hurts your soul.
Yeah.
Like there's such a distinction between the energy of what you are and you align with and what you are not. And if
Well,
we can,
the old frequency is the separation, and it doesn't like, it's that bratty ego again. It doesn't like that we're coming together, that we're coming back to our souls in our body. So it's going to mess us up. It's going to try. And it's the same thing with the dark. We still have to embrace it, but it's showing up so we could see who we really are. And
yeah,
if we can see that and say, "Oh, I get it. This is showing up to show me my opposite," that I get it. There's the dark, there's all this disconnect, but my heart is intact, my soul is intact. Ain't nothing going to separate that.
right on. So I don't want to run out of time. We got about 8 or 9 minutes. Is there anything that you want to do? Every time I look at you, I see nothing but Lyrian, and of course that's what you got behind you when I see it. So maybe that has something to do with it. But we've had some very good moments when you've come on in the last few minutes, and
Okay.
it's always improvisational and spontaneous, intuitive, creative, imaginative, and courageous. And it's the I am soul, in my opinion. And so the floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm getting that we got lots of Pleiadians, Lemurians, Lyrans, some Arcturians hanging out. Got a couple of little elven kind of, fairy sprites, and please take this in as an offering to help you remember who you are. And then when it gets too difficult, to know that you are not alone, and that just by being here, you make a great difference, even if you don't do anything, but to just be who you are. That we will help you remember. We will keep reminding you, to help you anchor into the new frequencies of the earth. Alua son toi shemakwa si alaitanaya. Yeram ut at alo satoi shekaton yasalaya muta. Kanusa shenta usal avokai ma bokarayalamu. En suse shasakutal usash at amoya. Halwayin kasun asham ove kasotoi shalai sala. Hanuaya kamuse it at o. Makwasa no shalaya urokoturum bakwasen aze. Haluayato setai ishalakatosa. Harusamo si. Makua ishtal ashkaskosla shanto ishata. Amusase karkosotoni shalai samovai fakonia nazo ze jazai kosone ishtal atune. Hanuase kwamove aloi akato. Open your hearts. Feel into your hearts. Kamotai shalai samokasa naita. Your heart is full. It is blossoming open. Kanoi shalaita. Allow the blossoming. The tears, let the tears flow. As the tears flow, it waters the petals of your heart open. Amukasu shania loaya katuya. Amualai sonodai isha, divine mother coming in with the Holy Father. Aquania sokotu shemakatoi setai i. Anuase shamakwasia si. Haloayaru katu. Nasena jeze kasori in at ut eva o a ekosa sona shamua kwasoto. Maluaia konara. Hanua kwasona nevaia la muai. Aguadia no soro shamo aquaqua se. Heriata no sha ishtal at kotan ashamazoze. Makwa nialai viatono haruaya korama godaya rokatona shatatu su. Aluaka, you are made of star stuff, don't forget. You are the stars who took on the flesh. This is why sometimes you feel like you are in a prison of a fleshy, bony substance. Porosatano Shema, you will remember who you are. You are star stuff in a human body. Bring the two together and happily dance them into unison. Komatai shara kosotoma fai ala wa. Shemoya no nia laia no ia laia no ia laia yo ya Shimokotoi si. Haluai, alovai, akanuz, zazazuze, kasuzuzi, jizizizi, ano. Haluaya. And breathe. Remember to breathe naturally, inhaling and opening and exhaling. Opening inside, creating the space so that the old imprints that have limited you can dissolve and release. The breath is what lifts up the imprints of the old. It releases them through the breath. The breath is life. Breath is the most important function humans can have, and breath is in everything that is alive. The trees, the plants, Mother Earth, the water. Everything lives and breathes here on Mother Earth and in the universe. Korosano Shataya, remember to breathe. Remember to flow, undulate your spine, open up, shake, bounce, release it. Open up your heart, open up your womb, your belly, open up your solar plexus, open up the chakras and spin them out to cleanse out the old. Open up the meridians through sound, through movement, through creativity, through healthy foods. Drink plenty of pure, clean water. Komasaisha la mokaturu. Aluamokarak, look up to the stars. Connect to the stars. Bring the star stuff back in to remind you of the star stuff that you are. Aquariata nuasa, this is infinite energy. Komataisa nakusotoi shamakatona. Alwaia anuasea kwatuna. We thank you, we love you. We are always with you. Remember who you are. You are here to do what no one else can. You come together in unity through the heart, through the soul, into the human, into the physical, into matter. You matter. Makwata anuasa kwashete ansona iata.
So it is.
So it is. Ooh.
Wow, man, that's a powerful thing, but you're always powerful, but that was particularly powerful. I think this is a very important time. Somebody asked, what is 0 point? When I said 0 point of the eclipse period or 0 point in general, 0 point is that neutrality, that abyss, that void, that womb, that space of no judgment, that we don't have words for. I'm not the expert, but it just seems like, you know, if something's going to shift, if a pendulum goes back and forth, and you know what I mean, there's that point between the space of the breath, right? The inhale and the exhale. That's to me, it feels like that point, and in a way that it never has before. So that that is an example, in my opinion, of a connected, multidimensional, conscious, aware person bringing it into the physicality. And I think that's a very good representation of what we're all doing.
And remember your humanness. We are human. Yes, we are more than human, but our humanness is what we came here to experience. So the soul understands it in a different way. Let yourself be human. Let yourself feel. Let yourself rage. Let it all be experienced. Yeah. It's very important. I just want to say thank you for having me on. Please support Soulology, Soul Speaks 5D, because we need this platform. It gives us an opportunity to come together and share our hearts in a beautiful way. And I have some webinars I'm in the process of creating. I have a light language webinar along with vocal sounding that's going to be integrated. And it's not that I'm teaching light language, but I'm helping people to remember it through tools and practices. So that's in the process of being born right now. And once it births out, I will let everyone know.
Right on.
Remember who you are, and that you are magnificent, beautiful human souls making a hugely great difference. I see each of you. I love you. I'm grateful to you. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Morgan, and the Soulology family. Thank you all.
I don't normally do this. I only do it in front of Morgan, which has only happened 2-3 times. Or if we're laying down at night connecting, I do it very softly. I don't think she can hear me. But I think that there's, we have to do what we're moved to do. And I believe we are in that space between breaths. I believe we are at this point where the poles are flipping. And I'm speaking in energetics and metaphorics. But something has occurred and it's been talked about for a long time, this feminine energy, which the most important part of that statement is pure energy with no faces, with all our faces. You know what I mean? I mean, we're talking about the purest energy, the mother energy, has busted a move, and in that move is even discovering things it didn't know of itself, and the masculine energy seems to have met it. So I want to acknowledge the feminine energy, and I want to acknowledge those mostly feminine female incarnates that have been doing the work like yourself for many years. And so the way I'll do that is just as a representation of the masculine. Okay, na say oh, I see you. I honor you. I revere you, all of you. The old language is coming back, and I know I'm not the only one that has these tingles running up and down my spine and on my head, and has been for the last few days. We are in a very serious, a very special time. And the only thing I know to do is to be present and go with the energy that presents itself in front of me, because I know somehow or another I brought that before me. And so much of the time has been spent in terms of what is triggering me or what makes me uncomfortable. But there's another side of it, and that is when you meet an energy that is coming with the same similar intentions. There is you referred to the warrior masculine and the warrior feminine, and the dance they're having, but there's been a baby's been born. Absolutely. And I think that's what this is all about. Our entire mission, 2020, and so on. And so, I just want to say that the Soulology platform is the voice of the Mother Goddess. The Soulology platform is a mirror, a small mirror of the universe, adding additional frequencies to ever expanding vibration, which is what the universe is doing. She is creation. She is all of us. No one has more in her, in them of her than someone else, regardless of physical gender. But this energy, this reality, this mother, this singularity, is what we are becoming in the human flesh. I know that sounds like preaching and everything, but I just was moved to do that. And I just want to say to everybody, thank you for joining us. And MaryAnne, thank you for coming to the party and being such a fucking badass.
Remember, everyone, love your shadow into the light. Dance. Let it play. Have some fun. Embrace the part of you that you've been avoiding. You're so worth being loved. You're worthy of it. You don't have to do anything. You're loved beyond measure.
Right on. I'll see you. You take care. Peace out, everybody. See you tomorrow.